it's Jen the Spooky Ghoul, and welcome back to my channel. For tonight, we are hanging out in my kitchen. For Halloween, I wanted to incorporate one of my favorite hobbies, which is baking, and thought it would be a great idea to replicate a recipe that I saw on TikTok. It was white chocolate ghost cupcakes holding a snow cone. Sounds a little crazy. I'll go ahead and show you the video of what I saw. Super cute, right? I immediately loved it. I wanted to do it, but I'm gonna be tweaking a couple of things. So I know in the ghost was like holding a snow cone. We're not in summer anymore. So instead, I'm gonna replace it with mellow cream pumpkin candies. And of course, they didn't have a cupcake recipe to show, but I got you on that. I'm gonna share my homemade chocolate cupcakes, and we'll put the full recipe down in the description below if you wanna save it for later or bake along with me. So come on and hang out with me, grab a drink and a snack. We're gonna be chatting up while we're baking in the kitchen, and let's get spooky. So we're gonna add our flour. Yep, look how cute these are. I also got these at Home Goods as well this year. I've been searching for, breaking stuff already. I've been searching for like good measuring cups forever. I got these, I think a couple of years ago. These are Ray Dunn, and I really do like them. But to be honest, I feel like this year, it wasn't slapping. Was not slapping. I managed to score these, and I thought this is the best that I'm gonna do, so I got these this year. All right, so we have our flour. This is homemade cupcakes, so I am adding my cocoa powder, and I did choose the unsweet version of the cocoa powder just because we're adding quite a lot of sugar. Didn't want to be sweet on sweet. Also, for those who are maybe either on a diabetic diet or they're on keto, I do have a version of this recipe that is diabetic keto friendly. So if you are interested in that recipe, make sure to comment down below and I'll be sure to share it with you. We got our flour, our cocoa powder. There's baking powder, baking soda, and some salt in here as well. So adding that. So we'll go ahead and whisk all of that together. You can use a fork or a whisk, whatever you have handy. Next, we'll do the wet ingredients, and this is gonna be kind of a no fuss, no muss type of recipe. So I'm just gonna use the same bowl as the flour. You can do the wet ingredients in a separate bowl, but my cupcakes have turned out really yummy. So if it's not broke, don't fix it, right? So we're gonna add 2 eggs. If you can get them room temperature, the better. With room temperature eggs, it just helps incorporate into the batter a little bit better. We are gonna add the milk, and it's a cup of milk. And I also added a tablespoon of white vinegar. And this is just because I don't have buttermilk handy. You can use 2%. I believe you can even use non-dairy milk. So if you wanted like a plant-based milk, like almond milk or oat milk, it is comparable. And it does some science stuff. You let it sit for 5 minutes. And then I am using coconut oil. The coconut oil that I use is refined, so it doesn't have that strong coconut flavor if you're adverse to it. Next, I'm adding a cup of sugar. Also, if you wanted to substitute your plain white sugar for like a monk fruit sugar, if you are on a diabetic friendly diet or a ketogenic diet, this would be a great substitute for you as well. What I'm actually using is monk fruit sugar, and it is a 1-to-1 ratio. So you can use plain white sugar, a cup, or monk fruit sugar, a cup, and it's all good. So, and then last but certainly not least of the wet ingredients, it is vanilla. And this is just regular pure vanilla extract. However, a little twist, I am using this Madagascar bourbon pure vanilla bean paste. I got it at Costco. Amazing, I swear by it, and it's fabulous. So I'm gonna add this to that as well. Oh, it smells so good. Oh my gosh, it's divine. So go ahead and mix all of that together. And just mix it till smooth. This is gonna go in the oven at 350 for about 17 to 19 minutes. The timer on, I have the oven light on so I can watch it carefully. And while that's cooking, I'm gonna go ahead and clean up, and then we'll go to the second part of the recipe, which is the white chocolate. The cupcakes still have some time left in the oven, so while they are still cooking, we are gonna do the white chocolate portion that we saw in the video. I'm melting my white chocolate, and for whatever reason, it's scalded. It's never happened before, but these are the only white chips that I have. So we're gonna pivot, and we're gonna do milk chocolate or dark chocolate. Now, I know in the TikTok, even the base was white, which, cupcakes are ready, hold on. These are the cupcakes right out of the oven, and they are cooling. All right. However, these ghosts are gonna be wearing pants. So I think it still can be saved, right? I think the top will still have like the white ghost holding the pumpkin, but the base itself will be a shell of dark chocolate or milk chocolate, whatever you have in your cabinet. I know in mine, the only thing I have is semi-sweet dark chocolate, I think. It's either way, it's gonna be delicious. These ghosts are gonna be wearing pants, so pivot. Got some dark chocolate chips. I'll go ahead and microwave them carefully, and hopefully we should get some beautiful melted chocolate. All right, we are back in business. This is what you want, for sure. This is the consistency that you'll want your chocolate. So I'm gonna go ahead and line all of these cupcake liners with chocolate. So I think in the video, she actually does use a spoon, so I'm switching. And I am just going to coat these liners as best as I can and as kind of quickly as I can, just because, you know, with chocolate, you gotta work a little quick. All right, quick update. The cupcakes are cooling in the refrigerator, as well as the kind of chocolate shells in the liner. And once they're cooled, we'll go ahead into the next phase of the recipe. But for right now, I have my drink. Wanted to sit and chat with you a little bit. How does everyone feel about Christmas being in the stores this early? I feel like over the years, holidays just in general have gotten in the stores pretty early. I don't know if it's a social media thing or it's like the influence of like TikTok and Instagram. You get a lot of these viral items, and I can only speak for myself, but I've noticed that there's like a FOMO element to it. So they'll say, you know, I found this here, go get it. And then it's like madness to the stores. It's so exhausting. I mean, I enjoy it because it gets me hyped. Like I get really excited for it, but I'm like, wait, hold on. I'm still trying to enjoy Halloween, which I will be. Though I can't lie, when I do go to the stores, I will be keeping an eye out for any Christmas decor. This year I'm going for a different theme, and this is something I've always done over the years. Last year I had classic Christmas. This year it's going to be more of like a kind of embracing my dark decor that I have all year round and doing more of like a gothic Victorian Christmas. So a lot of the shopping that I need to get done for Christmas, I've already gotten done for Halloween, but I haven't bought much. So I'm looking forward to the Christmas videos. So if I may not film them, but don't be surprised if you do see a little bit of Christmas in my future videos, just because it's inevitable. It's everywhere, though I'm here for it. I love any holiday. I love it. So you won't hear any complaints from me. But how do you feel? How do you feel? Do you feel like Christmas is encroaching upon Halloween, or are you an equal opportunist holiday lover? I'm gonna go check the fridge, see how it's going, and then we can get going. All right, we are back, and I went ahead and I took out the chocolate shells from the refrigerator, and it kind of looks like Pac-Man. So I think that's a success. Like I mentioned, this was supposed to be white. Though now that I think about it, say if you didn't want to do this, you could easily just do like vanilla cupcakes and it would work just fine, or heck, any other flavor cupcake that you wanted. I did chocolate because I like the chocolate. Vanilla is my favorite though. But our ghosties is gonna be wearing pants. It'll do. So I'm gonna go ahead and gently kind of peel this back. It is no crisis as of yet. It is peeling back just fine. All right, it's pretty good, pretty dang good. My hands are quite warm, so I'm not gonna fuss with it too much. And then the object is to take your cupcake and kind of cut it into the shape of your shell, which just keep in mind from what it looks like, and this is just kind of like a fun recipe that I'm trying out for the first time. It's certainly, I would like to see like the behind the scenes of that TikTok, but I'm gonna go ahead and try to shape it as best as I can. What I'm actually gonna do is like I'm gonna tilt this kind of upside down and kind of trace around it so you can kind of see what I'm doing here. So I'm kind of putting it upside down and I'm gonna kind of trace around it and see if I can fit this cupcake in here.
346 minutes later.
All right, back at it at the unhinged Spooky Gold Kitchen. So I've let these cool as much as I can. I'm gonna try not to handle them too much, and I have to kind of work quickly because if not, they'll go right back in the fridge, which is fine. We can kind of do this in stages. I have my first victim, cupcake here, which I mean, it looks fine. I know it tastes really good. I snuck a bite of the cupcake, so I didn't fail you there, but let's not lose hope. Let's continue. I'm gonna use pre-made frosting. I wanted to replicate as much as I could for the TikTok, and it looked like they just used like the fluffy Duncan Hines fluffy white frosting. So I'm going to frost the top of the cupcake, and then I'll go in with a piping bag to get kind of the crooks and crannies of the cupcake. So stay tuned. All right, folks, so I finished the frosting of the cupcakes, just like how the TikTok video did theirs. I've been humbled. I will show you my attempt to mimic the TikTok one, but I think I did redeem myself because I said, you know what? Because I can bake. I like to bake, but this was just not it for me. So I'll show you. There it is. It's not terrible. It's not terrible. Kind of terrible. It's delicious. It just looks a little rough, but I think it's cute. I don't know. So the TikTok ghosty version, I figured that one was pretty intense. It looks easy, but it was a little bit of a challenge between the actual chocolate. And I noticed, I actually played back her video, the cupcake that she puts into the chocolate shell. It looks like the consistency of a brownie. It's really small. Like she just drops it in. Whereas like these were real cupcakes. So to cut it into the shape of the kind of Pac-Man look to make it look like the actual ghost, it was doable. It was just not as clean lines, obviously, as you can tell with my attempt. So I thought, you know what? Let's see if I can kind of spin this around and make it a little bit more user-friendly or beginner-friendly for baking. So I left it in the liner, and then this was my version, which honestly, I actually like better. It's definitely not as amazing as hers was. Just mine was not it, but I think this is a fun alternative if you want to do this, and it'd be a little bit easier. Cat. There's a cat. Of course, there's always a cat. London, get off the counter. I'm not gonna listen. Lundy, get off the counter. Down. Brat of a cat. Okay. So there you have it, folks. Thank you so much for joining me on this unhinged vlogoween edition of baking. Was it a fail? Yes. But I think I did redeem myself with this cute ghosty cupcake. I had a really good time hanging out with you. I hope you had a blast watching. And until next time, stay spooky.